Hey, it's Annabelle. Welcome back. I'm going to show you my favorite tried and true and not long time, it's been like 2-3 years, great vintage and thrifted pieces. And this is also really fitting and in honor of Secondhand September. And so with some background first, I pretty much only shop vintage or secondhand now. Sometimes they overlap and one is not always the other. If you want to get really technical, apparently there's like a year cut off as to what is vintage, and then in the most recent, 50-60 years, that's actually retro, and then there's contemporary. I find it difficult to make kind of shopping haul videos and also lookbooks because a lot of my clothes are either very old in terms of fashion world, especially for YouTubers and influencers. You're expected to have new outfits every month, every season, just so you can have something to show as entertainment. It's been almost 2 years since I stopped shopping mainstream fast fashion brands, and that subsequently has made me just more conscious about consumption in general. One of the pitfalls I feel like about even advocating for secondhand is I've done this where I would go to Savers and buy $60 worth of clothes, and I think I would get like 8 or 10 things because it's more accessible to my budget. And I feel like that in itself is more about the thrill of shopping and coming home with a full bag of stuff rather than having keepsake pieces that bring joy and is really worth cherishing. So Secondhand September is to not buy new for this whole month, but also great lesson I've learned is to just use what you already have. Resell is great, mending, upcycling, that is also really good before buying new. And then if I could buy new, which nowadays I'm earning my own money, I'm out of school, I'm saving for key pieces, and I've been fortunate enough to get gifted a few pieces from brands like 07 Days and Amendi and such, but this is actually the only one I bought myself that I can afford right now. But it's also because I'm trying to invest in a number of things, including my online store that's coming, and that's also why this wall is really blank in my definition. I never leave any wall empty, but this is the only place in my studio where I can shoot products. Anyhow, let's just get into the pieces. I'm gonna first start off with this sweater that I acquired last summer. So a weird thing about me is I like to remember and recall the place and time in which I got all my clothing, and it makes me feel like I know them, like my clothes are a character. So this was probably a fast fashion piece if you look at it. This is synthetic, so I'm really careful when washing it. It has to be handled, you have to hand wash it because of this shaggy fiber. I feel like an avocado when I wear this, and I have a good time. I don't know. I enjoy high necklines. I like how loose it is. If I had a suede skirt and boots and like a crossbody bag, I feel like in my head I will one day collect all of the things I need to complete that outfit. And I found this at Plato's Closet, which is one of those stores you can sell your old clothes to, and then they'll sell it again for a much higher price margin. Next is a high-waisted pair of pants. Sorry, I didn't bother zipping it up because I'm gonna try it on for you. So as you see, it fits so well, and I love how thick yet comfortable the denim is, because many times denim can be too stiff and give me like a wedgie, but at the crotch. And I got this when I went to Toronto last summer, and on Queen Street, if you keep walking all the way in one of the directions, there's a lot of thrift and vintage boutiques, and one of them has a huge denim section and a whole range of sizes, which is just great because it's really difficult to find pants that fit me in both length. I mean, this is long, but I wear all of my jeans cuffed like this anyway, and I like the medium wash. I'm not really a light wash girl. I never wear white pants either, so it's truly like an essential pair of pants for me, and I got it for $30 or less. Next on the list is a purse, and this is my most worn purse other than the green one that's the same shape that was my mom's from the early 2000s. And this I picked up from, I think, from Thrift Village, something like that. It's a very small store in Ithaca. That's where Tyler worked last summer, so I went to visit him for a whole month. One of the days we went exploring, I found this purse for $4.99, and this is a Liz Claiborne, and I believe it was a very hot brand in the 90s and 2000s, and it's no longer a thing. I know it was a thing in the 2000s because I was watching The Office the other day, and you know, like when Dwight meets up with Jan, and he's like, there's a Liz Claiborne outlet. I know you like their blouses. I don't know very much about the contents. I would say this is plastic, and the inside has houndstooth, which I love. There is a small little handle if you want to hold it like a clutch, and a pocket in here, which I have a lot of cash. It looks like I'm rich, but they're all ones because I like to break up my bills and tip people in cafes with cash, because I heard that they don't have like the credit card fees. I think my sister told me this, so I always try to give cash now. And then I have just an emergency mask, and then there's also another pocket and another pocket on the back, and this is where my phone goes, because when I have this over my shoulder and the phone is in my armpit, I can feel if there's a call coming or something. Next is this lavender dress that I got in Santa Cruz 2 years ago, and it was a really spontaneous trip that my girlfriend Amanda and I took downtown, because it was just when she was beginning to go to school in Santa Cruz, and it was like her move-in week, and I went there to visit her. So it was like a very meaningful visit, because we got to go to Panther Beach, both of our first times I think, and we took some film photos on her camera. I also met a viewer that day. I don't know if you still watch my videos, Soul, but I think we were in like a Salvation Army, and I bumped into you, and I was wearing yellow that day, so it was really easy to spot me. So across the street from that store, there was like this more independent, kind of like messy, you know, where the racks go all the way up, and there's a lot of stuff in there. I found this there, and it came with a belt, but all my belts are packed away, so I shouldn't have separated it, but it looks really nice with a belt, and I wore it to Europe with my mom in the chest area when it pleats is taking advantage of the woven pattern, and I love how it creates a sense of movement and texture that adds to the rest of the stripes. If you pay attention to detail, how it's cut on the bias on the drapes part, so it really enhances the way the dress falls. It's unlined and 100% cotton, so it's super breathable and great for summer. And another awesome feature is that there's a pocket on this side because the zipper's on the other. And I think it's either because women wore dresses and skirts almost daily back then, so it needs to have some utility. And the other theory could be that because clothes were more so made to order and made in less quantities, the quality of the construction was more complicated. And the next sweater that's like my favorite sweater right now is this duck sweater, as I call it, because there's a moon, some clouds. These grasses look like the tall pond grasses. Foxtail. Bambi, hi. Come on, come on. The sweater is probably designed for men. It does fit Tyler as well. It fits him, I think, like just perfectly, but I like the oversized, comforting feeling on me, and it's 100% cotton, which means it's not extra warm and quite breathable, and I can wear it all year round. And the graphic is just amazing. I'm not a lover of navy blue, and this is not quite navy, so this is one of the few deep blue colors I wear. This one I purchased on Etsy from a vintage shop. If you just type in any sort of clothing, and they have like a ton of filters, whether it's color, size, and vintage, pre-owned, things like that. It allowed me to find a couple of stores that I glance at once in a while, although I've only made 2 purchases. So this one was $50, and it was more of a okay, all right, it's worth it. And yeah, it is, it's worth it. It's been like a year since I've owned it, and I've worn it so many times, and I just know that this is gonna be passed down to someone I love. Next, I have a simple cotton shirt here, and this definitely is contemporary, but I found it at the reuse center, so it's secondhand. It's most likely from fast fashion, just looking at it. It goes with a lot of different makeup looks. It pairs great with the medium wash denim I was talking about before, and it works well as PJs too, so it's really versatile. I'll either tie it up in a knot by the waist because like it's thin enough to do that. I'm really careful though not to dry it in the machine, because with this sort of knit, the more you dry it in the machine, the more like the fuzz from the yarn is gonna get stripped away, and that's what you see in that lint trap. Yes, there's like occasionally fur, hair, dust, but most of that fiber is like an average of all of the fibers that were stripped from your shirts. So anything that's like fuzzy, you know, those crew necks that are really soft when you first get them, and then they pill over time, I always hang dry or dry flat. Oh no, I see there's like a tiny hole. It must have been from one of these times, you know, sometimes when you hold your cats, their nails might pierce through. So I'm glad that I caught this, because I'm just gonna go in with a needle and patch it up. So this isn't one of my favorites, but I wanted to mention it really fast. I thought this was a quirky find, and I bought this intending to list in my online store, but I like that it's a lightweight jacket that I could don on the days where it's pretty hot, but I don't want to just have a dress on. It's a lovely bubblegum pink, so I thought why not just hold on to it and wear it until I feel ready to let it go and it can find another home. But for example, I wore it with this outfit the last time I went out. I'm just a big, bright blob of color everywhere I go. It has a wrinkled texture, and it's because it's a double weave, so the top layer is a very tight knit with like very fine threads. And then in between you can see these slits exposing a much thicker weave, like almost as thick as you see on seat belts. It's like a utility textile. And in those areas, that's when all of the threads are woven together and thus held down. But in the other areas that it's puckering up, it's because the layer slightly separates and there's a tiny pocket. So the top layer, that's the finer weave, has a different tension. The underneath weave has a tighter tension, so the difference makes it wrinkle on the top. But I hate the buttons. I just feel like it was a terrible choice. It just doesn't go very well with this. So I actually purchased some buttons, and wow, Tyler and I were in the button aisle for like a good half an hour just debating what button size and what color and what vibe you can go for. And when I have the time and I want to like watch a show or something, maybe a K-drama, I can go in and switch all of them out and hand sew and replace them. And of course, save these excess buttons for any future projects. And my very last piece is a dress. And it's so funny because I wouldn't say this is one of my favorite pieces, but it's so one of my favorite discoveries. It's so cute that in the back it comes with these flaps, so you can make a bow, and that kind of scales it up a little bit, makes the dress a little bit finer. Thin cotton lining over here in the middle, and there's no tag, so it looks handmade, and that's very special. Well, I actually must say it's two dresses, but I'm gonna talk about them together because they're from the same shop. So like in this dress, it's velvet and it has the most stunning print. This is actually some sort of vest on the top, so I always wear something under it. And both of these are from a shop in Providence that's no longer around, and I'm so sad about that. If I'm remembering the name correctly, it was from Split Apart Vintage, and it was the last corner store in this mall in downtown Providence called The Arcade. And I think that is the oldest mall in the country. The first mall that was founded in the 1800s, and now it's really quiet and abandoned and looking very sad. I hope that maybe one day they can revive it. Both of these pieces were $30. And that is amazing because if I were to get it online or from, I guess, like a more trendy shop, it would definitely be like $150 each. And I will see if I can, handmade. If this is handmade, then maybe I can train myself to get better in that. And they also fit really well, which is the best part, because it is part of thrifting and stuff to have to be a scavenger and look through things, and half the time maybe go back empty-handed because you don't find anything that fits well. So when it does fit well, it's really magical. It's meant to be, and you were in the right place at the right time. I wore this a couple times, like when I visited Florida, and I have a hat that's secondhand too that matches it really well. So that is everything that I have to share with you. These are definitely not all of my vintage clothes. I think I'm going to do a separate one for vintage dresses alone, because as like a fashion enthusiast and textile specialist, can I even call myself that? Sometimes it's just too good, and even if I don't have a chance to wear it for a year or two, I still will keep it because I know in my heart that it's so special. And that's exactly what I did with the plaid dress. I think I bought it a year and a half ago, and the first time I wore it was this year. That's the case with one of my gunny sax dresses that I found on Depop, and it must have been in 2017, so I still haven't worn it once because I don't have the chance to, but I'm so excited to share that with you. It's like a dusky blue, and it's a beautiful lacy gunny sax. So that's all I have to share. You might notice that some things look a little off because I actually had to stop halfway and leave the house for a couple hours to go to a dental appointment. That was fun. I'm looking to get my teeth straightened out once again, and it's not going to be as severe because I'm not starting from square one, because at this point my retainer doesn't work. The Invisalign trays I have don't work because I need those composites molded onto me. The longer I wait, the more this left tooth protrudes, and then The worst was when it eventually gets out so much that it overshadows the tooth next to it, so it looks like I'm kind of missing a tooth. Yeah, while I'm working at this office, there's an employee discount and other financing options, so I want to take advantage of that, and it kind of everything seemed to kind of fall into place, so that's the next thing I'm saving up for after the computer I'm saving up for. So that's another random update. And also, I would like to mention I would really love to make gloves for this outfit. Gloves with like little beads on them just for accessory would be really, really cute. And if you're wondering where I got my earrings, I made them. This is one of the things that will be up on piperpully.com when the shop launches. In due time, I'm going to have a studio vlog hopefully and catch up, but for now, that's all my updates, and I'll see you in a week. So thank you so much for being here once again, and take care and rest well. Goodbye! I really love this dress. It is an investment piece, and when I pair it with this secondhand top, it makes me feel like the lead singer of a small band, in which I would be called, my stage name would be Ladybug, and the band name would be Ladybug and the Whisper. I don't know what I was singing though. Tyler would be the Whisper, even though he plays the drums, and ideally I could play the guitar, but I can't. I'll play the triangle. Ding. Bah! I forgot this was still recording. Goodbye.